So this is an update video for anybody who's still watching. Um, we've been back about a week, and I just got Mark earlier today to email me the footage he got on his cell phone right before he got jumped in the woods when he was trying to return the pen. I guess I'll play that first. It's not very long, and then I'll kind of elaborate a little bit using the information that he sent me in the email.
Whoever finds this video, I'm about I think a mile away from this cabin. I keep hearing these bird noises, and the tree branches have been shaking. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this out. Hopefully I can get there soon. Mr. Jack, I'm out here trying to solve his problem. Getting closer.
And then from there, it gets weird, because he says that he remembers getting hit, and then he remembers being in the car, and everything in between is just, in his words, like remembering a nightmare, but one that you had, a month ago. He remembers fuzzy details. He remembers David and James finding him, but at the time when it was happening, he said it was so surreal that he couldn't even tell if they were really there. He couldn't tell if the freak in the bird mask was there. He couldn't tell what was actually happening and what wasn't, because in his mind, they weren't alone in those woods. And he won't talk about what he saw and what he hallucinated coming after him, but it is sure as hell not because he doesn't remember. The one thing that he will say is that the things that he thought were chasing him reminded him why he was born afraid of the dark. I mean, I don't know what it means, but hearing him talk as we were driving back down was real enough for me. It's my theory that the freak in the bird mask had something to do with it, because when it was stalking him through the woods is when he was at his worst, and then as we started to get away from it, he started to get better. Yeah. So now there's two. Now there's the thing in the black and white mask that messed with the camera, and then there's the thing in the bird mask that maybe makes you go insane. And maybe there's one more. I really don't want to say this at all, but I want to preface this by saying I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if maybe it was just a dream, maybe it was a hallucination, but last night at about 3 a.m., I was just awake. I didn't remember waking up. I remember falling asleep, and then all of a sudden I was just awake, sitting up in bed. And I sleep without any lights on. I sleep with the windows closed. I've got light block shades. I mean, it's pitch dark when I'm asleep, but I looked over to my door, and there was something there. And it was roughly man-shaped, but it doesn't make sense that I would be able to see it. because it was pitch black already, but somehow it was still there. Even in pitch blackness, it was still darker. So I stared at it, and I could feel it staring at me. And then, of course, I reached over and turned on my bedside lamp, and, of course, nothing there. And I looked over, and the pen was right where I left it on my desk. Waited a minute. Didn't hear anything. Went back to bed. Nothing else happened. So I'd like to believe that, you know, it's like how you get when after a horror movie, you know, every crack in the house and every squeak and mumble is just the most terrifying thing ever, when normally you wouldn't even realize it. You wouldn't even pay attention to it. But because you're convinced something is there, you're finding evidence to support that. I'd like to believe that. I'd like to believe that it was the towel hanging on the back of my door, and, you know, it stood out against the white of the door, but I don't believe that. Not for a second. Because we've seen the thing in the white mask, and we've seen the thing in the bird mask. And I don't think they're alone. I don't know why, but I've just got a hunch that we haven't even seen the worst of it yet. So I guess from here on out, I'll just sleep with a camera next to my bed, you know. And maybe nothing will happen. Maybe it was a hallucination. Maybe it was even just a dream. Hopefully, nothing else happens, but the more I say that, the less I believe it.